Welcome to Stuttgart, welcome to Germany, and welcome to FEI TV. History, heritage, and of course, equestrian sport all collide in the Hans Martin Scheler Hall. Tonight, we turn to the wonderful, exciting, thrilling world of FEI driving. The FEI World Cup of 2024 and 2025. The road, quite literally, is a high-speed one, and it'll be heading towards Bordeaux in February. This is the third leg. Welcome to Stuttgart. We started in Lyon 2 weeks ago. We were in Maastricht last week, and now we arrive here in Germany. The FEI Driving World Cup, bringing together the very best of the drivers off the world rankings after the outdoor season, giving them their chance then on this indoor circuit that will see them weave their way quite literally all over Europe. They started in Lyon, Maastricht and now Stuttgart before we head on to the likes of Stockholm, Geneva, London, Mechlin and Leipzig, and then on to the final. Tonight is hugely popular and hotly contested here in Germany, and we've got two top local talents going first and second in the draw. We've got drivers for Belgium, a couple for the Netherlands, the Swiss, and of course there's some driver from Australia that I gather is quite good, and he goes last. Well, what a start list we've got here tonight. Shall I talk you through it? As Gorg Van Steen will go first, Michael Bruckel will be the second out. Glenn Geertz for Belgium. There's George. Glenn Geertz from Belgium is with us as the third to go. Koos de Ronde was in great form last week, the first of the two Dutch drivers, fourth to go. The Iceman himself, IJsbrand Chadron, is the fifth driver to go. The Swiss star, Jerome Boutaz, out at number 6, and then the world number 1, Boyd Excel. He was brilliant, Boyd, last week yet again. He obviously wasn't in Lyon, but he came out for the second round in Maastricht last week, and he came out and he wins again. An unbelievable talent, but of course he did not win the World Cup final this year. That went to IJsbrand's son Bram, who was in competition last week. It is a sport that ever increases in quality, and Boyd Excel has been with us now for 20 plus years in this wonderful world of driving, and as this sport has developed, he has lifted the level time and time again. So there you've got it. Look at that, a run of drivers from the world's top 10. It is exciting stuff tonight. You've got the 1 and the 2 with Koos de Ronde in there as well, IJsbrand Chadron, and it's hard to choose. Of course, tonight sets it up. It's the first competition. It'll set the starting order for tomorrow night. And it's a choice for the OC, the organising committee, how they do this. So tonight's rules, it's the add-on, and they all go into the second round tonight. So we're going to do the first drive, and then they'll come back, and in the second drive, the time adds on to what they achieved in the first. Does that make sense? Jerome Boutman, our course designer once more, superb brain of extracting both the quality, the speed and the excellence out of these horses and drivers. There's 7 different cone obstacles. 4 seconds is the penalty, we know that. The bridge, high speed in the middle, and of course you've got all of the obstacles which you're looking at just here, the lefts and the rights, the twists and the turns. But one of the reasons I love Stuttgart is because it brings with it something that only, I think, one other arena does, but it brings it in a corner and it brings it at speed. It is, of course, the water splash. We'll see it down there on the right-hand side. It's, yeah, it'll get a little muddy, a little dirty. It'll be like being out on the cross-country courses across Europe. By the time they've finished, they will have sand stuck everywhere, and those beautifully clean harnesses, well, the grooms are going to be busy overnight getting them all ready again for tomorrow, that is for sure. Tremendous interest. It's a massive event, over 50,000, over 55,000 I think it was last year, I was told, in terms of attendance over the course of the week. It's the 38th edition of the Stuttgart German Masters, and it brings together 3 World Cup disciplines alongside the FEI World Cup for driving. Of course, we have here as well the Dressage World Cup. We saw the Grand Prix for that this morning. The freestyle is tomorrow, as will be the points paying round for the driving. And a little earlier this evening, FEI TV bringing you live coverage of the qualifier for the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup that takes place here on Sunday. We've seen the FEI Ponies Trophy. It is all here in Stuttgart in Germany. Well, there is one of those famous little tennis balls, those beautifully orange cones. The little ball sits on top. Keep it there and you are fine. Knock it down and you get fined. You get fined 4 seconds. And that is not what you need. It is so important. We saw that last week, actually. If you were watching with us in Maastricht, the importance of a clean drive kept you in contention, because at the moment you had a little bit of an issue, you were giving yourself a handicap that then made life very, very difficult. Now, a little bit of work between the teams. It's one thing walking your way around the edges, but for those of you watching, I'm sure the majority have probably seen this sport before, time and time again, but maybe one or two new people that haven't. Of course, once you get into those obstacles, they come at 5 and at 10 in the course tonight. But that is where the twists and turns really start to tighten up. You'll be going from A to B, C, D, E, F before you're allowed to move on out. And they don't come in any particular line, because the drivers have got to work that out, and they've got to work out the quickest route to make their way from one gate to the next. Always when they get to the actual numbered gate, keeping the red on the right, white on the left. But we'll judge that as they go round. Busy night here in Stuttgart. Let's wait and see what happens. Well, under the spotlight we will see. Just need to find out if they're going to be doing a parade here this evening, because it's always good when they do. Great chance to introduce everybody involved. There's the famous Stuttgart Tower. Amazing part of the world this stadium is set in. It's this historic city. This is such a big event on the equestrian calendar, the world equestrian calendar, but of course one of Germany's blue ribbon events. And alongside a packed house of enthusiastic people really understanding the sports they come to watch, but just coming to enjoy, having a lovely time out. And they've got their little flutes of champagne there, so sitting comfortably and ready to raise a glass to the best drivers in the business. Teams of 4, really, and I find it absolutely fascinating. I'm in awe of the ability of a driver. We see dressage riders. I've seen it. I've said this once before. I think I said it last week, but forgive me, because I'll say it again. You see a dressage rider or any horse rider, you're constantly looking for that control and balance between extension and collection. But when you're doing that with a team of 4 horses and you're sat behind them in your vehicle, that connection, that control, and you'll see it time and time again in these competitions, the lightness of the touch on the reins always sort of beggars belief, because yes, they're moving them through their hands quickly, but it's never hard. And that touch is so important, but that control and connection with the voice, having your leaders being able to really bend their way to show the way, and then to have the drive and power from those wheeler horses, the horses at the back, who really pull. And as I say, that ability to, from one moment, extend, to be really pushing out at the gallop, to suddenly having that collection, that ability to keep that control, that understanding and balance. It's key across all parts of what we see happen in equestrian sport. It's that connection and ability to work together with your equine athlete. Certainly starting to build the tension now Hopefully this will be out the back of the warm-up arena here at Hans Martin Schäder Hall that is certainly filling up on what is going to be a big Friday of sport. I think the final words just been made down from the team on the ground, who are, of course, keeping a really close eye on everything that goes on down there. Because once these teams set sail, there's going to be a lot of action and entertainment along the way. The water splash comes at number 3 this evening. It's a little bit surreal under the blue lights tonight. So Gil van Steen will be the first out the box, as they say. And he'll be driving all the way. Exciting times ahead, the world of driving. It'll be fascinating to see if Boyd can hold on again. Ronda did put him under a lot of pressure last week, but Jerome Vitaz and Nispera Chardon being here this week, I think, sort of it adds to it all, really, doesn't it? Because we know how good those two drivers are, and if you, for instance, go back to Lyon, which of course is where the first round takes place, and the victory there went to Dries de Griek. Okay, he's not here this evening, but Jerome, who is here tonight, finished in third, and there wasn't a lot in it there. So it'll be interesting if he can put Boyd under a little bit of pressure, because as good as he is in a mini, he's the most phenomenal driver perhaps the sport's ever seen. But he still makes the occasional mistake. He's only human. He's not a machine. And when that happens, you've got to be ready. You've got to be close, and you've got to keep the pressure on. And we've seen the pressure put more and more on. Lovely view of the water splash there, isn't it? That's not something they've had the chance to rehearse. Where are we going? What are we doing? Let's have a little look at who's coming in to join us then this evening, because we're going to start here. Oh, we are having a parade. So, who have we got over there? Oh, okay, so I think we found Jerome, Vitaz, and Noah, Delapierre, Belle de Pupier, Lune Villefontaine, and Leon Ijsbrand Chardon, the Dutch driver. Of course, there as well with Conversio Mostarter, Casper, Maestro Mitzer in first one. Kustaronda, Butibi, Maestro Zenta, Favori, Allegra Futar, and Edgar for the world number 2. Glenn Geertz for Belgium. Figueroa, Zusapollo, Uno, Idea, Scolari, and Valentino. Michael Burkle and Joey Ballou, Fabius and Sonny. There at the back is Boyd with Banyok, Katie Did Duchess, Barney and Mad Max. And they're all just having a chance to get their paws a little bit wet, get their hooves a little bit wet. Of course, the other is Gil van Steen with Leo Bella, Playboy, Risk of Fun, and Kappa. Well, last little chances to get a feel for it all. Up down there. Forgive me for the moment of silence while we just change something with the headset to hopefully make things a little bit clearer. Well, we're just about ready to get things under starters' orders. And of course, like I said tonight, all of them are going through. All of them into the drive-off, but the times add on, so the average is so important. Here we go to the world number 6. The first for Germany. We'll have all the home fans cheering and shouting as we go racing in the FEI World Cup driving opening drive. So, I think we're finding life difficult at the beginning because we've already picked up a 4-second penalty. The second gate is the on part of the bridge. Here we go. Time to slip and slide for the first time tonight and get wet as we come out of there through number 4 on the far side. It's an awfully long run, but now we come to the obstacles. He's found his way in through A. Now B, you've got to literally turn back to the left here. That's B. The leader's just going through B there. Then we will find our way back up to the top. Now he'll hook left here and bring the leaders through C. That's C just there. Then he's got to get them out here, and then he'll swing them in from the right. You can see D on the boards there, straight through, turn right-handed again, and then come back in from the corner. That's E. Find your way down. You can see F. He's got to just, quick as you can, turn, and then, which way are we going now? He's trying to find a quick route out the other side. He doesn't want to waste any time, and this is what I mean. Extension, collection, the control and the power of these teams is quite surreal. Absolutely flying. 7 is on and off the bridge. $16 penalties is the score. It's all seconds added. We've all got ourselves in a bit of a muddle here. We've got to find our way back in again. There we go, there's B. Just ended up coming out a little bit wide. Now, back up to the top to get to C. That's C. He's just slowing the horses right down here because what he wants to do is C, bizarrely, and then this is D. So you sort of come through C and D, but you need to come through it the other way. So you've got to, it'd be interesting to see a some turn left, turn right. I guess there'll be a little bit of what favours your particular horse as well. Round and round, that is slooping his way back, and he's off. He's got his way through that little gate at 11 that comes on the side, which I think is quite a tricky little test after you've been. They get quite used to running off the back of the obstacles. On this occasion, they certainly cannot. Okay, 20 seconds is going to be what we add on at the end of this. And we'll see what happens in the second drive tonight. But George von Steen for Germany sets things up with the seconds added in. It's 192.61. Which means his original drive time was 172.61. There you have it, in front of you there. Tough when you're first to go. Inevitably, by the time you get to the final tomorrow with the drive-off in the World Cup round, it's by that point, I think, the 4th time you've gone round this course. And then what you will see as they bed in is, even in the second drive tonight, they will be able to go that little bit quicker because you're just slightly more prepared, slightly more ready. Unlike, Formula One racing, where you would get 2.5 days of practice before you get to go driving in your race at full speed. There's no time to practice here. This course laid out, you don't get to see it until you turn up on the night. So much crowd support for the home drivers tonight. They'll be so proud to be here. Michael Bruckl now the next out for Germany. Based in Warendorf. multiple medalist at European and World Championships, including individual bronzes. He's driven into the top 6 on a couple of occasions at the World Cup final in the past, and he's certainly trying to get off to a flyer. That's that bump when you come out the far side, the suspension. Look at this. Now, brilliantly controlled as he had to sort of downshift into place. There is just no room for error. Just come a little bit wide, but at the moment what he's able to do is keep up some really strong momentum. You can see how the brake been operated on the back there just to allow the vehicle to slide into position as the horses begin to pull. And look how fast they're pulling now as they fly across the Hans Martin Scheler Hall, getting four-wheel drift, the sand going sideways. Michael Bruckl using his marathon expertise and love. The marathon extremo is pushing hard. And this course tonight really allowing the horses to gallop. Course designer has really used the huge size of this arena surface tonight to test these horses and drivers in a very different way to what it was, for instance, last week in Maastricht. Right, through B. How was he going to cope with C to D? So here comes C. And now, see, he's gone a different way. He's gone out to the left to hook back in. And it's gone wrong. But he's managed to correct it, and what a brilliant recovery that was, because look at the clock, he hasn't had any seconds added. He kept the horses off the boards. Okay, it's cost him a little bit in terms of the stop, but it hasn't cost him penalty times, and that could be, well, that could be a big advantage at the end. And we're getting ever closer to the end as he's flying across the Hans Martin Scheler Hall here in Stuttgart. Where's he going to stop the clock? Wow, 1:58.15. 14 seconds faster, and that's before you get into penalties. 14 seconds faster than we saw with George. Michael Bruckl there, final time 162.15. Gives his horses a pat on the back and says thank you. I have to say I was quite impressed with that. I mean, he'll be disappointed he had that 4 seconds picked up late on, and of course he had the little issue in the second of the obstacles. But actually, I think there was a good drive in there. And we go back in. The grooms hold it on the side. Water everywhere. You get to see that bounce on the way out. See here as well the control. I'm grateful that suspension is built into these. I mean, they're high-tech vehicles. They are not your average sort of car. They're certainly designed for what they do. Right, up into the world's top 10 we fly with Glenn Geertz for Belgium. We want to continue on an upward trajectory. Didn't have necessarily the easiest time in Maastricht last week. Can he bring himself into contention? He's a superb talent. He had that great run at home in Mechelen last year. Of course, he's twice finished on the podium in the World Cup final itself. He's already got 4 seconds to add. Cracking team of greys. See the leaders galloping in unison. Oh, we're going to need a little bit of hopping work on the back there just to try and move that vehicle round at the back. Every single centimetre could make a difference. again, he's taking a different route out. He's gone for the straight line up at the top, which is perhaps just that little bit safer than cutting the angle. Right, there was the split. But it was the wrong end of the split at the moment. Whether he can make it up, we will see. One end again to the other. Now, there's A. He took the same route as we saw with Michael, but he made it so much smoother from C to D. Just, he's getting tighter and tighter and tighter to those uprights. And then this, I'm fascinated by gate 11 tonight, the way it's just sort of almost like having an extra part of the obstacle course, the way it comes on the owl. Right, we push, we chase, we race. 1:62.15 is the leading time. 8 seconds to go on to the time at the end as Glenn Geertz flies to second. So 1:72.34. His drive time of 1:64.34 was 6 seconds behind Michael's. I said Michael's was a good drive. Of course, Michael only had 4 seconds at it, but it was still faster. And at the moment, that time 1:72, of course, giving him a sizable advantage over George. But of course, with the way tonight is set up as well, with the times getting added on, okay, great, you give yourself a few seconds advantage going in, but you know, it's like bounce, 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 bounce. As I was saying, you can go with the advantage. Of course, that's what you want, but it can also work the other way. If you have a bad drive in the second part of tonight, you undo all the good work you managed earlier. Right, next to go. Here he is. For the Netherlands. This, the world number 2. Kusteronde. Second last week in Maastricht, looking to put the pressure on at the top. What can he do tonight here in Germany? Wow. Already you can see the pace difference. He's managing just to keep that momentum. We talk about momentum time and time again once you get into the obstacles, because even if you have, as we saw with Michael, take a little pause, it suddenly starts to cost you. If you have to even check too many times, you're going to start losing half a second here, half a second there. Look at the brakes. Solid on, and that's going to cost you more than half a second. It's going to cost you 4 of them. Right, out the other way we go. Angus is pushing on. I'd suggest even with the 4 seconds. And of course, Michael had 4 seconds added into his time. So it's pretty even Stevens at the moment. We're going to get a split as they fly the bridge. He's cost himself a little bit there. But that he can still make up, because Michael's problem came in the second half of the course, in the second set of obstacles. So what Koos has lost at the beginning, he can still gain once he comes into the set of gates at number 10. Full commitment on the in. Got lost. Or is he taking a whole new route? He's just taking a whole new route. Now, snaking his way around and around he goes. He's got his plan. Sat nav on. Look how difficult that line is to be able to guide your horses, your vehicle, the length of this, and then through that tricky gate 11, but that's when you can suddenly let them run. Just be careful of the double gates, but you push, push, push. Look how well those leaders are leading the line. Wheeler's bringing the power. Coming to the finish, it's going to get awfully tight, but I think he's actually going to be the wrong side of Michael's time. He couldn't catch it up. The drive time was 167.61. Maybe that problem at the beginning cost him more than we thought. His drive time, although he's got into second place. Congratulations to Custaronda. But his drive time was slower than Glenn's, 164. So it's tight out there, and despite the gaps, it'll be all to play for. And we're not done yet. We've still got 3 more to go. Talk about dancing horses. Team of 4 doing the quick step. Here comes the Iceman. What an ambassador to the world of driving he has been, both for the Netherlands, for the driving world, bringing a wealth of experience, quality and control, and perhaps trying to put the problem from Stuttgart last year behind him when it didn't quite go to plan. He is, of course, Icebrand Chardon. It isn't just ice, but it is driving that runs through the veins of this family. Three-time winner of the World Cup final. He's competed at 12 of them. World Championships 4 times. And he was Dutch champion 27 times. And you can see he's lost none of his edge. He didn't have a great drive in Lyon a few weeks ago, and he's trying to make sure that tonight it's he who's best placed at the end of this opening leg. So, right, 4 seconds at the moment. Less than 2 seconds at the split, that's nothing. Yeah, see, he's taken the other route back. It's a slightly different line to Koos from B to C. It's interesting how they all have chosen slightly different ways of finding their way round the obstacles here. That's the direct line for all of them, though, with the hook back. Once they've gone through F, because you've got to get to 11, keep that control. Don't run too quickly. Now you go. All the way to the finish. He's chasing 162.15. There's your time to beat. Remember, 8 seconds to add in. He's going to struggle, you know. He's got to get to the line. He's got to get there. It's going to be awfully, awfully tight. There won't be much in this. Icebrand Chardon has got into second. Add 8 onto 156.27, and it goes to 164.27. I mean, full marks to him this evening. That's the quickest ultimate drive in terms of forgetting about penalties. He was 2 seconds faster than Michael Bulker. But just the 4 to add from Michael's side of the drive this evening, and 8 to add for the Iceman. So, keeping it relatively tight though, when you consider we're going to have a full returning complement in the drive-off. It's getting a little muddy down at the splash. You can see where most of the mud has gone. And, the grooms and the team on the back certainly feeling it. Well, now to the driver that took third. That was in Lyon. It is the turn of the Swiss star, Jérôme Vutaz. Twice he's finished second in the World Cup final. He's been to World Championships, European Championships. A driver that on his day can bring himself into contention with the best of them. He finished second here last year. What is he able to do tonight? Right. Into the obstacles quick as you like. Seconds at the moment. He's going for the straight line on the way out, and he's pushing. End of this arena to the other for Jérôme Vutaz. He'll want to make sure that he has got a good starting position tomorrow. The advantage of being later in the draw, and they do, as much as they're warming up gently out the back, they are, and their teams are watching what the others do. They're paying close attention, trying to make sure that they have chosen the right lines to work their way through these obstacles, looking for where the problems can come. So if you are that little bit later, you might know if you've got to push or take a little bit more of a risk here or there. Listen to that constant communication, talking to the horses, light hands. And although he's holding a whip, it's purely there just as an aid to say left or right, nothing more. And then once you go left, out we go. Now, how is this going to unfold in terms of time? He's not going to be able to overtake the leader, because you could already see he's falling behind that in terms of time on the clock, and he's got 8 seconds to add in. But can he get himself perhaps into the top 4? It'll be pretty tight. And 166.01, that means he'll go 5th, because it's 174.01 with the seconds added on. So thumbs up to the crowd. Team on the back wiping the sand out of their eyes. There's been plenty of that getting spilled around. So he's gone into 5th. Now, in terms of when we get to the drive-off, we know that George von Steen is that little bit further out of contention. But Jérôme Vutaz is only less than 2 seconds behind Glenn Geertz. Glenn Geertz is less than a second behind Custaronda. Got 3 drivers within 3 seconds of each other. And okay, there's a little bit of a gap, but what are we looking at? 6 seconds, 7 seconds, then up the road to Iceman Chardon, who sits in second, and he is only 2 seconds behind Michael Brooker. So it is awfully tight the way this is going to roll out. I come down to this man. He is the world #1. perhaps the greatest driver of horses the sport has ever seen. As I said a little earlier on, his outstanding abilities and horsemanship have lifted the roof of this sport and taken the standard of driving, not only his driving higher, but of every single driver that sits behind the reins. This wonderful team of his, of course, buoyed with the luxury, I guess, of specialist selection of horses for the indoor circuit that are that little bit more compact, that little bit sort of finer in build. It helps with just having that little bit more maneuverability, I guess, on the turns, but it's these small margins, every little item thought about. And they will have started their indoor season training several months ago, getting them fit, getting them ready. Again, you can hear him putting the call up, talking to them. But if you look in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, Boyd Excel, it's not often you see an 8-second penalty sat beside his name, and tonight, this is going to keep it close. We'll wait for the split when he comes over the bridge. It's going to be fascinating to see how he compares to Michael. Seconds added, he's 10 seconds off the pace at the moment. He might well be the best, but like I said, it doesn't mean that he is perfect every night, because he is a human. It shows what a brilliant drive we've seen from Michael Brooker at the start here this evening. Now, how's Boyd going to handle this? You know, he was unstoppable last week in Maastricht. Pushing on. Where's he going to end up? It's going to be fascinating to see, because that time is 162.15. Of course, we're watching the time on the white screen. Where's he going to wrap it up? Where's he going to be tonight? Boyd Excel goes into third in the opening drive. 1:67.0. Crosses the line. He made up some time in the second half of the track, that's for sure. He's 5 seconds away from Michael going in to the drive off here tonight. Boyd Excel has got some work to do, that is for sure, and we have got an absolutely thrilling drive off coming your way tonight, because if Michael was to somehow, if he is able to reproduce what, I mean, we called it at the time and said that was a good drive. He was only the second to go, and it was hard. Sometimes it can be a little bit hard to say and get it that right, but it was a superb drive. I mean, Boyd's ultimate time of 1:55.05 is the fastest, but seconds getting added on, making all the difference. 6 of those drivers, their ultimate times are separated by about 10 seconds. That is it. But it's not the ultimate time that counts. The ultimate time has seconds added in to all of them this evening. And Michael Brooker for Germany is leading the way going in to the second drive. IJsbrand Chardon, Boyd Excel, Koisteronda, Glenn Geertser and Butas and George von Steen. But look how tight some of those times are. And we've seen how easy it is for 4, 8, 12 seconds, or in George's case 20, to get added on. Go nowhere. We're going to take a little break while we obviously set things right for the second half of the drive tonight. What an amazing start to Stuttgart. It never ceases to amaze. It always seems to deliver. This is just the opening night. We'll be back in a few minutes' time.
Hallo.
Well, there's the order a go for the second part of the night. The drive off here for the FEI Driving World Cup. This, the third of the 8 legs on that drive to Bordeaux for the finals in February. George von Steen will be the first to go. Didn't have the easiest time of it in that opening drive, but then you get into those that are awfully close. Well, number 7, Jerome Vutas, Glenn Geertz there for Belgium, Koesteronda. There is just, what did I say, about 3 seconds covering those 3 drivers, second, third and fourth to go. Boyd Excel out of position tonight. He's got to find something in the region of 5 seconds if he's going to catch himself up on the leader. Icebrand, Chadron, is only 2 seconds behind Michael Bruckel. I mean, if Michael holds on tonight, the roof comes off the Hans Martin Shaler Hall. It's as simple as that. It'll be a huge shock, but exceptionally well deserved and supported. They will be over the moon. They love Boyd here. They love him wherever he goes, but they would love to see one of their own take a win. What can George von Steen do in the second drive here tonight? Remember the times add-on, so when you look at the graphics, the time on the left is the joint time of the 2 drives together. Any penalties will come up in the middle, and then on the right you've got the time for this specific drive, and we'll give you a little bit of a comparison when we can at the end as well. Right. Most importantly, what cost George was the penalties he picked up, 20 of them. 20 seconds is a heavy hit. Already you can see that extra confidence, and we're going to see it throughout all of the teams. Continues to fly, keeping it neat, keeping it tidy. There's the split time from the opening drives, and he's doing a much better job. Don't forget the fact that it says 194. What I mean to say is that 82. He's got the team working much more in harmony this time round. Round and round the merry-go-round we go, snaking our way through. Now to the hook back, the cheeky little gated 11 that's been placed there just to slow them on the way out. And look at this for a difference. He's still driving clean and clear onto the final run round. Into the home straight. Oh, he's picked up 8 somewhere. Curse of the commentator. Sorry to say, George, but Germany over the line. 161.50. Giving him a combined time there of 370.11. So there you have it. fabulous effort. And I was just going to compare it to his time from the first drive. I mean, again, forgetting penalties for a moment, he just went around 11 seconds faster than he did the first time. What a huge improvement that was. I mean, his drive there was faster than, well, all bar the top three in terms of that performance. So the confidence came, and it came at the right time. But now we move in to Jérôme Vuitaz, and to remind you again, the driver here placed 6th after the opening round, but it's 4th, 5th and 6th that are separated by around about 3 seconds. There's just nothing in it. The world number 7 can really push forward, and with how tight it is, realistically, any problems that, you know, befell the top 2 or 3 could still, you know, you could flip this class around quite considerably. It all comes down to what happens over the next little while. But Jérôme is off and flying. Up and down. Trying to get your hooves wet. You can see how he leans forward, gives with the reins, and it's almost as if they're on rails. They know where they're heading. Complete confidence. You can see as well how the wheelers, the horses at the back, got that focus on what the leaders are doing and exactly which way they are going to go. They're going to follow round in their own time. And you've got to judge just enough, leave just the right amount of room for the vehicle to fit through at the back. And if you haven't quite left enough, hope that your man on the step can, well, bounce it over. Oh, whoa, 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 he somehow got away with it. There was a little bit of confusion, but now they're going. Letting the brake off, letting it run. There's your split time, the combined time. 2:93.02. Surely he's much faster. Yes, he is. Again, just like we saw with George, Jérôme's come out, all guns are blazing, and he's come back with confidence. How does he handle this second set of obstacles? He's taking an immediate right. He's going to go up to the top. Seen that line driven in several different ways here this evening, and I'm still not sure which is quickest. Although that line looks pretty tidy. Equestrianism does slinkies. Right, now we've managed the gates in the obstacles. We've only got 4 seconds to add. We're through the gate on the way out, and now we run. The double at 12. Safe and sound. One more gate to go. 3:70.11 is the combined time to beat. And Jérôme Vuitaz, the Swiss star, drives to the line. 1:60.39 as he crosses the line. Superb. Obviously considerably faster when you add it all together because of the penalties out of the opening round. But 338.40 is his final time. I love, as you keep hearing me talk about ultimate times. To me, that's my way of describing what was ultimately possible had they picked up no penalties, which that isn't the way this sport works. But I think it gives you good comparison. And the second drive of Jérôme's was 6 seconds quicker than his first drive. 6 seconds he's just managed to find. Okay, seconds get added in, but 6 seconds is quite a saving. But we know how tight it was going to be with this little group of drivers battling it out in 6th, 5th and 4th. So let's move on to the next. It's the Turner Glengeertz from Belgium. The world number 9. The margin so small between him, Jerome, and Kuss still to come. It's a bit like starting from scratch. Loving the close-ups of Glenn's face there, watching him. Even he knows how tight he's cutting this. As we swing round, we'll get the split any moment now. And I would say he might just be the right side of this. Up and over we go. He is. He's got a 4-second advantage as it stands. But that is only one mistake away from things turning the other way. This is edge of your seat stuff tonight, and this is just the qualifier. The main show's tomorrow. Oh, that was close at B. He's trying to keep that momentum. But at the moment, I mean, he's keeping the horses in the canter. He's not dropping in terms of pace at the moment. He has to here because you're literally going round and round in circles. It's a 360. It's like turning the corkscrew, twisting tighter and tighter. Can he hop over? Oh, manages to edge out through F. Oh, and he's done it, and he's still clean and clear. Glenn Geertz is off and running. Keep it tidy. This is a drive that will put pressure on those above him. Oh, he has picked up 4, but keeps going, and it could make a difference. What's he going to do? 1:5:9:11, but it's that extra 4 seconds, the 8-second penalty, that has just cost him. Because the final time, 3:39.45, is 1 second, or 1.05 seconds, but let's just go with 1 second slower than Jerome Vutaz. This sport never fails, does it? I said it will come down to small margins and making big differences, and that's what's happened. That extra gate going at the end has cost Glenn the chance to go into the lead. His actual, I mean, the ultimate drive times, again, just to give you a bit of reference on that, his was 1 second faster. So he had the couple of seconds advantage anyway. Then he found a second on the course, and then he lost it with the last part of the track. And it was also 5 seconds faster than he went in the opening drive in terms of ultimate pace. Now, I think there's something to come here from Kuss. I don't think he had it at the level to which he would have expected in that opening drive. It just didn't quite flow, not flow. It did last week in Maastricht, where he was second and he was pushing Boyd all the way. But what has he got up his sleeve for the second drive tonight? He knows he can't really afford any issues because of how tight it is out there. The game is afoot and the pressure is on. He's asking for everything from his team here. Round and round now, back on yourself through Now we can get out again, can't we? We can start to go. Takes the straight line on the route out, allows the horses to pick up the speed. I'm really enjoying the middle part of this course tonight. Our course designer really allowing them the use of this arena. One end to the other, back again, up and over the bridge, but it's allowing the horses to really stretch out, get that gallop going. Of course, they need the accuracy at the cones, and I think we might have just hit one. We have indeed. 4 seconds to add. Oh, this is going to be tight. Right. Superb. Absolutely first class from Stuttgart. The world number 2 is now on the run home. Time to beat 3:38.4. It's got that 4-second penalty to work out. This is going to get very, very tight come the end. There's not going to be a lot in this. Will he get there? Oh, yes, he will. Of course he will. 1:56.19 was the ultimate time. He adds the seconds in, but 3:31.80, 7 seconds up the road from Jerome Voutaz. He has made up time on that second drive, even with the 4 seconds added in. An exceptional bit of driving, and I think one he'll be much, much happier with. He was 11 seconds faster, his ultimate time, 11 seconds faster than his first drive. I thought he probably did expect a little bit more of himself than the way it went in the first drive. So we are now down to the final 3. It's like watching a rally car, isn't it? It's just with real horses, real horsepower. So Kusteronda has set the standard. 3:31.8 is the time. Well, if I'm allowed to say that Koos will have expected more from his opening drive, I'm sure I can say it for this man. The world number 1 is out of position. There is absolutely no question tonight. He is under pressure. And, well, you would expect him, like no other, to be able to handle and deal with that pressure. And if he's going to do anything to push his way to the win tonight, this is going to need to be a Boyd special. He is going to need to excel in excellence. What is he going to be able to do? You could already see what he means to achieve. There is no breaks so far. His simple aim will to be as quick as he can be, get himself in front of Koos, and then... Oh, no! He's got 4 seconds to add already. It's not become a very simple night in Stuttgart for the world number 1. His aim is to get into the lead and let the others crack under pressure. Right, 8 seconds to add. It's certainly not worked so far for Boyd. He did, of course, have a few seconds in hand over Koos, but he's going to have been giving that away. And here we go with the split time over the top of the ramp. He's a second away from where he needs to be. See how the stepman looks up, keeps an eye on the split time, and then he'll pass that information back up to Boyd. It'll give Boyd the information he needs as to where and what he's got to try and do. But there is a limit. Simply sensational driving through the obstacles from Boyd Excel. Absolutely brilliant. He has done what he can after the problems early on to make up the time. Whether it's enough, we're about to find out. Boyd Excel races to the line. Where's he going to go? Into the lead. Wow. Should we expect anything else? I mean, that drive in the second set of obstacles was sensational. Quite brilliant. And he knows it. That was him at his best. He had all the problems, yet he found some answers. Whether it's enough of a solution, we'll find out. But 326.92 is his combined time. Yes, he did have a little bit of an advantage over Kusteronde at the start. But I mean, let's look at the ultimate times. His drive time, ignoring the penalties, was 4 seconds faster than he went in the first drive. And 5 seconds faster in this drive alone than Kusteronde. No wonder he has found himself, even with those seconds added in, faster than Kusteronde. Well, now the game moves over to the final two. Icebrand Shuttle. He has probably the most, well, he will have the most experience of them all here this evening. But it's a question if he can handle the pressure. Of course he is and has been in this situation time and time again before, but every day is different. About just under 3 seconds was all he had as an advantage over Boyd. Good luck, here we go. Boyd's penalties, remember. So if the Icebrand can drive clean and clear, Boyd, what was he, 8 penalties in this drive. He's got 3 seconds already in his hand. That gives him, he's already lost 4 of those. What I was going to say was perhaps you could easily have said was a 10-second advantage. But he's given away 4. So, 6 seconds now is perhaps the advantage he's got. A little hip and a hump at the front of the line there from his leader on the inside. Now turning. But a 6-second advantage is quite something. That's costing him time. There's just a little bit unsettled, the grey there on the outside. Ooh, has he managed to get away with that? I think he has. Right, we're off and running, and he's kept it to 4. Full speed ahead. We'll get an idea of the split here as we go up and over. He should still be up. And he's kept that 6-second advantage absolutely like we thought. He's driving pretty even, but this will be interesting, if not fascinating, because I don't think anyone has driven as fast through this second set of obstacles as Boyd managed a moment ago. He's keeping up the momentum, but he is also just having to move a little bit wider on some of those rolling turns. Kept it neat and tidy, just the 4 seconds still giving him an advantage. Too close to call. It's impossible to decide, and suddenly another 4 seconds runs away from him. 3:26.92. The combined time to beat is going to be tough. He goes into third, 3:32. He's lost out with the seconds added on, and unfortunately it's cost him the ability to stay ahead of both Boyd and Kuss this evening. He's a little disappointed, I feel. I mean, Chris on the back, I'm surprised you can see out of his glasses at the moment. Chris Valerie there, and Jeanette Chardon, of course, the team on the back of the vehicle here. But it shows what happens when the pressure's on. And Boyd has kept his calm composure and kept his speed. Brown was struggling a little bit in the first set of gates as well. He had the Gray at the front just backing up on him ever so slightly. And again, it's just moments like that. Now, we saw Michael have a problem, if you recall. He had to just untangle himself. But it comes down to this. As much as I say they love Boyd Excel here in Stuttgart, they would love nothing more than to see their very own win on a Friday night. Michael Brooker is off and running. Of course, the advantage is his from the opening drive. So let's look at the times and remind you that he had a 5-second advantage and Boyd had penalties. So we're talking something in the region of 12 seconds worth of advantage as he starts out on this drive. Petra there on the back, just adjusting the brake as they come in. You can see her there in the middle, giving it a extra twist and turn where she needs to. And he knows how important keeping it tidy will be. This would be one of his greatest moments to be able to win this one here tonight. Of course, he'd love to do it again tomorrow, but you take the advantage when it comes your way. Oh no, he's got to go in reverse. It's all gone wrong. Oh, and that's all that you need to happen. And 4 seconds. So now the question is, how much has he actually given up? Like I said, he had a 12-second advantage. He's given away 4 of those. Ooh, he's given away another 4. He's lost a load of time. And now you can see he's actually lost out 3 seconds the wrong side on the clock. He's still got a chance of pushing his way into second tonight. This crowd are on his side. Uh-oh. I hear the bell. It gives him a chance at least to be able to see where he's going by cleaning his eyes. I mean, the effort and work that goes into the presentation of these horses and vehicles each and every day. And then somebody comes up with the idea of putting a water splash in. Right, we go again. Into the obstacles. If nothing else, tonight will have given him the confidence to know that tomorrow he stands a very good chance. Oh, nothing he can do. The second drive, sadly, has really unravelled for him. Michael Bruckel then for Germany. Drifting his way around this course, 166.26. Losing time, but at the end of it all, with seconds added in, I haven't actually seen a final time confirmed. There was an issue out there when he destroyed an obstacle, which he still hadn't driven through, so of course they had to repair that. That was why the hold is. He's ended up in 6th place this evening. He's dropped down the order. I mean, this has been fascinating. Absolute thrill ride tonight. We've seen the order chopping and changing. The man that led ends up in 6th. The man that was in 3rd after the opening drive ends up on top. You can't keep the world number 1 out of the number 1 place. And the winner tonight in the opening drive is gone to Australia's Boyd Excel. In fact, the world number 1 wins it. The world number 2 takes 2nd. But the hearts of this arena, I think, very much with that man tonight for that quite brilliant performance. There's the clocks, there's the times, there's the final results of the opening competition for the FEI Driving World Cup here in Stuttgart. Boyd Excel, Kusteronda, Eisbrand Chardon, Jerome Vutaz, Glenn Geertz, Michael Bruckel and George von Steen. That, of course, is the reverse order as go tomorrow. George will go first, Boyd will go last. Goose will be looking to see if he can edge up on him. It's going to be an interesting battle. Look how tight it was. You know, there's not masses between them. And again, it comes down to such small margins. And the moment you have a course where mistakes are possible, then it really puts a twist into the competition. It's been another fabulous night. We'll be back with the presentations in a moment. Well, there, of course, is the current standings going into tomorrow. Boyd Excel certainly has a chance to gain an advantage over de Greek. Over the course of the season, the drivers dip in and out, but they all ultimately have the same number of rounds to qualify and score points at. So it has to sort of unfold a little bit over the course of the season. And, of course, they'll all try to find their way high enough up the board to qualify to go to Bordeaux. Preparations underway down there on the arena floor for the presentation of awards. Tremendous audience tonight, certainly enjoying the sing-along, and for those of you singing at home, don't fear, Sarah Dance will be back in Stockholm to sing with you in the commentary box. But here he comes, your winner tonight. Well, perhaps not your winner will come in a moment, but where are we going? We've got them all coming back, I think. Top three. There's Isbrand. I think that was Kuss that came in a moment ago. Yes, it was Kuss. Kuss de Ronde and Isbrand shot on the two Dutch drivers. And there he is in the middle. He so certainly knows where to park. And will he be there to... Oh, where are you going? I don't know. Oh dear. Oh gosh. That wasn't the tidiest moment of the night. I mean, in fairness, it would just be like going outdoors and doing a bit of driving. He's trying to steal a little bit of confidence. There you go, just giving the crowd something they want. Well, tomorrow night, though, is when it all matters. That's when the points are paid, and that is what they're here for. Tonight was just the qualifier. It was the way of setting the grid, and we know that Boyd will be the last to go tomorrow night, as he was in the draw this evening. Will he be stood out in the centre again tomorrow evening? That we will have to tune in, and we will be bringing you that live. I said tomorrow night, of course it's actually tomorrow afternoon. 12:45 we go live. We'll be live just before that with the build-up, but 12:45 we start the drive for the FEI Driving World Cup, live with you on FEI TV, Central European Time. 12:45 tomorrow. Wherever you're tuning in from around the globe, I hope you can do so, because it is going to be a firecracker. We've seen that this evening, but he's done it again. Absolutely sublime. That second set of obstacles on his second drive was spellbinding. We get set then for the national anthem of Australia. Australia Fair. Would excel. Does it again. They certainly respect the talent, and they love him. He's so popular wherever he goes. But it wasn't easy tonight. He certainly had to work for it. There's a very knowledgeable person just mentioned to me tonight was all about concentration. And the moment that concentration went even in a small way, suddenly you had a penalty or a bigger problem. And those that kept their concentration have found their way to the top. And there's something to be said when the world number one is first and the world number two is second. And there isn't many with the experience of driving of this man. The Iceman himself, Ysbrand Shadow. This is his son Bram, beating Boyd in the World Cup final this year. Win it for the third time. Not here tonight, it's out on the rotation. But make sure you tune in tomorrow afternoon, 12:45 Central European Time, live with us on FEI TV as the race continues here for the FEI Driving World Cup in Stuttgart for 2024. We get to do it all again, only faster. Many congratulations. It's certainly been what it always seems to be when we come here. Quite sensational in Stuttgart. I'm going to leave you with the lap of honour and showboating. Enjoy it all. And tune in tomorrow at 12:45 on FEI TV to the FEI Driving World Cup. The points will be paid on a Saturday in Stuttgart.
unabhängig von Strompreiserhöhungen